Hello everyone, this is N-GameArts. We're continuing off on my collection of games that I have. This will be the Nintendo Switch collection. It is a collection that I don't have many games with, but I do have quite a few. I've added it up. I think I have a little over 160 Nintendo Switch games for the sake of this video, and I don't know if people prefer a little bit longer videos or shorter videos, but we will go through about 40 plus at a time, so it should be about 4 videos altogether. Now, keep in mind, I have been on a bit of a hiatus on playing Switch games. Not to say I don't have anything against the Switch. It is probably my most favorite Nintendo console since the Super Nintendo. But the reason I've been a bit on a hiatus on covering Switch games currently is that I'm waiting to see that if the next generation console that Nintendo comes out with is backwards compatible. Which there's been a lot of rumors that it's going to be, which I'm really happy, and hopefully it's fully backwards compatible. But I want to make sure I can test these Switch games on the next console and make sure those games can be played completely offline without a registered account. Because regardless if it has backwards compatibility, if it cannot be played offline without a registered account, to me that's not backwards compatibility. It has to be offline with an unregistered account to actually mean anything. So that's why I've been on a hiatus. That way I can just be a lot more fresher and see these games be played and tested on that newer hardware. So you might come across a lot of times I'm going to be saying I haven't played the Switch game. I did the exact same thing when I delayed it for the PlayStation 5. I stopped playing PlayStation 4 games. That's when I was covering a bunch of Switch games. I'm just providing this information why that I have yet to play a lot of these Switch games. But let's go ahead and continue off. I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing me ramble. Moving up, the first one is a pretty major one. We have Mario Odyssey, or Super Mario Odyssey. This is pretty much the only 3D Mario game that came out on the Switch so far. I actually relatively enjoyed the game. I didn't 100% complete it, but I did beat it. I did enjoy it. It was fun. It was enjoyable for what it was. I don't know. I don't really love it. I don't really hate it, but I was expecting... I don't know what I was expecting with it. I did enjoy the levels, some of the level design, that it was a little bit open-ended, but it wasn't like a huge open world, which I really enjoyed. It was a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter, and you can notice a bit of level design in that aspect and just in that gameplay. But overall, Super Mario Odyssey, it's a good game. I wouldn't say it's my most favorite Mario game, but I did enjoy it. It's well worth you put in your collection. I enjoyed it, so yeah, Mario. Moving on. We got Super Mario Maker 2. This is a better physical version. I debated about whether I wanted to talk. I bought this used, and why I bought this used is that they later reprinted. I can't really show you in the video. Later on, they started reprinting the cartridges. This is the 04 here. And why this is good is that they started including the updates on the cartridge of like Super Mario Maker, Super Mario Odyssey, and so on and so forth. And this includes a lot more content and features as well as for better offline gaming. Why that's better is that now you can play your levels like a levels. You can actually do almost like a dungeon or actually playing Mario with the levels you've created. So it's a lot better for offline gaming. So it's a lot better to hunt down like 04. I don't know if there's a higher version out there on cartridge, but that's why I bought this, because I was like, no, I thought I came across this at my local game store, and I was going to immediately pick it up. I saw it as a higher version, because I had a 0. I had the 1.0 version. So it was really cool to pick this up. Again, it's a really good game. It's Mario. I've made about 2 major levels out of it. I didn't get heavily invested into it, but I think it's a really cool idea to be able to make your own Mario levels. It's a good game, and this is definitely the best version you want to get, because like I said, with that offline experience, and you can create your own levels and do like a trial run to go through all your levels. It just gives you a lot more enjoyment than just doing the campaign, which the campaign was good, but with that dungeon kind of setup, you can actually play each of your levels at random. Adds so much more to the game. So I'm really glad to have this re-updated print version of Mario Maker 2. We got the Ori Collection. Now, this is another physical release. When it first came out with standalone physical copies for each game. This collection here comes with both games on one cartridge, and both games are more up to date on cartridge. So this is the superior version of both Ori and Ori 2: The Will of the Wisps. Ori is a really good Metroidvanias. They're not my most favorite. They are enjoyable and decent. They have some good design aspects. I don't know. didn't really hit as home as me for me in terms of Metroidvanias, but they were good. I enjoyed them. I haven't run through this more updated version. When I first played them, I played the individual physical copies, and there were some bug issues for both of them. So I'm hoping this more updated physical copy will be a lot better experience, and hopefully, like I said, the backwards compatibility for the next console would be appreciated. I think maybe they can make these games more run better. But in the end of the day, all I want, like, it's nice that PlayStation 5 can make PS4 games run a little bit better. All I ask is just backwards compatibility. You don't have to make the games run better. I just want to make sure I have backwards compatibility. Because like I said, I have 160 Switch games. I want to make sure I can still keep playing them on the next console. Moving on, we got Super Mario, the Origami King. A fairly good Paper Mario game. I really enjoy like 1,000 Year Door and stuff like that. And I did enjoy Super Paper Mario as well on the Wii. Those are like my two most favorite. Paper Mario has really replaced Mario for me. The gameplay, the mechanics, it's just something, for me personally, I find it a lot more enjoyable than the new iterations of Mario. I don't know what it is. I just like the art style, the 2D aspect, but the 3D mixture of it. Now this is the base vanilla version of the game. There was a little minor bugs and hiccups in the game, but I still beat it. Now I don't know if they've reprinted physical copies out there. I haven't heard anybody mention it, but really good. I'm definitely looking forward for 1,000 Year Door. That might be one of the few like Switch games I might buy brand new. Because I do wait for Switch games, especially Nintendo games, to drop in price a little bit. Because their games are a little hit and miss for me. Sometimes I really love them, sometimes they're a little like disappointing. But overall, I'm really glad to have it. I did enjoy it. I won't say it's my most favorite Paper Mario, but again, it's actually fairly good. Moving on. Panzer Paladin. This was a limited run physical release. Now, this wasn't distributed by Limited Run, but it was like not produced by Limited Run, but it was distributed by Limited Run. I bought the card pack version. They had a standalone or just a card pack. It was like an extra $5 for the cards, so I picked that up. But it's an interesting game actually. It's a 2D kind of style game, and I don't think it's a Metroidvania, but I do think it's like sort of Mega Man-esque. Man, I played the game, but now when I'm playing it, take a look at it, I can't remember anything about it. I just remember the graphics being like a very orange-blue tint, which look really, really good, and you like change out the weaponry and the mech you use and stuff, and it had a little bit of like Blaster Master where you can like hop out of your robot, if I recall. I mean, like, it's weird. I played it. I even beat it. Or I thought I beat it, and then it continued on a little longer, and I'd stop playing it after that. But overall, a really good pickup. I'm glad I got it. Moving on, we got No More Heroes 2, Desperate Struggle. I just picked these up because I just threw them on they were distributed by Limited Run. There is newer print copies out there in terms, I think you can get like PAL versions or something like that, or Asian versions, but these were from Limited Run if you want the American version. I don't know anything about No More Heroes. I've never played a single one of them, so I have no opinion about the overall experience and if it's worth your time or anything like that. So I got it, but it was more of a random pickup. Moving on, I guess we could do both of them. We got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the Sith Lords. Now, I'm not a Star Wars person. You've probably heard me say this before, so I don't know anything about these games. I don't know how... I've heard a lot of people talk about how good they are. I know nothing about the story or characters or the universe. I just picked this up because I was like, you know what? I love older games. I love when older games get new physical copies. Oddly enough, these are only available on the Switch. At least currently on physically. I don't even know if they're available like digitally outside of just the Switch. But I picked them up. I don't know anything about them. I heard a lot of people say they're some of the best Star Wars games. I've heard that a lot of times. Then I just picked them up, so add them to my collection. They look interesting. I remember watching somebody play it at one of them at one point. Oh boy. Triangle Strategy. This might upset some people, but I actually didn't really like this game, which is very odd because I really like strategy games. But this one was a pretty strong disappointment. It's the fact that this game isn't really a strategy game. It's more like a puzzle chess-based game. And a lot of people praise certain mechanics in the game, which took me by surprise because there's like people talked about you can train in this game, but you have to like do the same battles over and over. I mean, people forget that we had like Final Fantasy Tactics where you had random battles that changed the level and location where you battle, but no, you had to do the same battles over and over to train. There's just certain characters who just made no sense to be in your party. Now granted, the voice acting, the story, and the overall decision making was all very, very good. But overall, the gameplay and just the overall mechanics, I didn't personally enjoy this game. I don't know what it was. It was one of those few games I actually lowered the difficulty all the way down. I was near the end, but I was pretty much done with the game. It was like I choose the path where I was the pink girl, and I was following her path to go to the Forgotten Land or something like that. And it was like the last mission about some waterfall, if I recall. And I was just like, I did it a few times, and this is like, I'm not having fun anymore. I dropped the game down to all the way to easy and beat it and got over with it. I have never picked it back up. I've heard a lot of people say they really love this game. For the life of me, I cannot see it. It's got good voice acting, it's got a pretty good story, but gameplay-wise, it's like Banner Saga. I'd rather play the game without the gameplay. I would rather just play the game with decision-making and voice acting and the story. I would rather just remove all the gameplay in the game, because it wasn't really fun. Here's a random pickup. Was Townsman, the Kingdom Rebuilt Complete Edition. This was only available as a Japan import. This does come with like expansions on the disc and everything, or disc on the cartridge. Now this is from THQ, but like I said, it's a more updated physical copy, so it probably works actually good. I believe this was a mobile game to a massive degree, but I haven't played it. It's like a kingdom, build your own city, build your own thing, townspeople, which always gets my attention. I love these kinds of games, so I picked it up, and it looks really, really good. I just have yet to mess with it. It's right up my alley, but this is the only way if you want a physical copy of this game, and at least it's the complete edition. Moving on, another really good game is TowerFall. But sadly, this game, it's got some minor single-player experience, but the game is mainly meant to be played as a multiplayer game. It's actually really good. It's like really, really fun. I believe this is from the same developers who made Celeste, which is a game where you play a girl who climbs a mountain, Celeste. But I believe this is from the same developers, but don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure. Or it could be from the same like division or something. But anyway, really, really good. I just wish I had friends or something like that to play with and everything like this on this game, because it's really, really good. Highly recommend it. Moving on to The Moon, which is a very story-driven, or it is a story-driven JRPG. I've actually never played this game, but I did watch a Let's Play of it. Woo! And the story is amazing in this game. It's very heart-wrenching, and I mean, I know, if for most people they're going to be looking at this is that there's no gameplay. And then games don't have to be that way. Games can be really just a journey, an experience, and a minor interactions, enjoying what was created. In the end, I bought this because I know the story. I watched a Let's Play of it. It was very emotional. It was very enjoyable. I love the ending and setup and everything. I know there's a sequel to this. I'm hoping... Now, I've never seen anything for the sequel, and hopefully we might get a physical copy, and I've been trying to avoid seeing anything of it because I'm hoping we'll get a physical copy of that sequel. But in the end, really, really good if you like story-driven games. Very emotional, it's got some comedy, it's got some good bits to it, but it's going to leave you emotionally drained if you play this. Moving on, now here's an interesting game, Tiny Metal Ultimate. This was from Limited Run. Now this was a huge disappointment from Limited Run, simply because they kind of like half-assed it, where they put like some content on a redeem code, and so it's not all on cartridge. It does come with 1 and 2 on the cartridge, but like Caesar's Rescue DLC isn't on the cartridge, and it's not like the most up-to-date and stuff like that from my memory. And it's a good like Advanced Wars kind of style game, but you can't like create your own levels or anything like that. You can't even play multiplayer offline, which again is a huge bummer again. It's a good idea. It's got some good mechanics and ideas. It's just, this is a disappointing physical release because it's not the most complete version, and it's from Limited Run. They should have done better. They whine about something being difficult, which I hate it when people do stuff like that. But anyway, especially asking money. And they are expected to release physical versions of games that are complete. That's what I expect, and that's why they are a boutique store, and that's why you pay those prices. But moving on, it's a good game, but I mean, if you like Advance Wars and you've played it a ton, this is maybe something to look into if you want to try a different kind of spin-off variation of it. Moving on, now here's a game I mentioned talking about, Time Spinners. This is a Metroidvania kind of style game. It is a good Metroidvania to a degree. It's the bread and butter, but the real problem is that this is one of those games I recently talked about the LGBTQ community, where I don't mind that community. I'm not want to say I'm a supporter. I'm not saying I'm against it, but I only have problems when the communities are either side, straight, like LGBTQ, whoever, will try to prompt somebody else up to make them look better or look inferior, and this game kind of does this, where the main character is a lesbian, which doesn't bug me, but there were certain moments where it was kind of male bashing at certain moments, as well as they did like the awkward name, don't assume my sex or assume my gender or thing. It was just very awkward, and I just hate that kind of stuff. As well as I was talking about gender bias, like the game has a point where they make a point in the back about that not everything is black and white, and not everyone is evil, and they have some reasons for why they are who they are. Well, yeah, that only applies to girls with those terms, because in this game you play it, and every girl will have some reason they're doing some evil thing, and you don't get a choice, but you have to forgive them for it. But most of every ruler male is evil, and your job is to get rid of them. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's like, you can't go off and say one thing and then immediately do another. I know it's like me bash-mouthing it, and it's a good game. It's got some good Metroidvanias, but I'm just talking about that story moments that you have to pull yourself back and realize that you are more hurting your community than actually encouraging and promoting it. It's a lot of that kind of stuff that I don't enjoy. But it's still a fun game, and I still encourage picking it up to check it out. Maybe you disagree. Maybe if you play it and you think I'm 100% wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm fully fine with that. It's just my personal experience and what I felt when I played it. Moving on, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Bad game, good game. Super Mario 3D World was awful. That game, awful is a strong word. Boring, and boring's a strong word too. It was just a game. I barely remember anything of the experience. Nothing about it was fun. Like, if Nintendo's job was to be fun, this was not fun. Now, Bowser's Fury was actually very good. I actually really enjoyed Bowser's Fury. I kind of enjoyed its open world aspect, but it wasn't too overwhelming and too big. And I did like how you were trying to avoid him and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun for what it was. I wanted more of Bowser's Fury. Super Mario 3D World was... I don't know what that was supposed to be. I mean, and I hated the cat outfit. Not that I don't mind cats. I love cats. And I don't mind the cat outfit. But the only problem was everything was built around the cat outfit. And it just felt like you just played with the cat outfit. At this point, you might as well just give me the cat outfit throughout the entire game. I don't know. It's just good game, bad game. Or not a very fun game. But in the end, so happy to have a physical copy of my collection. Moving on, here's another really stupid thing from Nintendo. This is the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection, which comes with Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. There's two things that's really stupid. First off, they stopped printing this for some reason. It's getting really sought out there for a physical copy now. They're getting really up there. Now, thankfully, there is more updated print version, which I have the 01. I don't know if there's a higher print version out there, but so yeah, really stupid on Nintendo's part on that. And secondly, they don't include Super Mario Galaxy 2. Why is that not on here? So it's really frustrating in that area. But overall, I still played all three of them. I did enjoy most of them. I enjoyed Mario Sunshine the most. Really enjoyed that one the most. Then I would say Mario 64 was my second most favorite. And then Mario Galaxy was my least favorite of all the three. Mario Galaxy gave me a headache. I hated the cameras. I hated the gameplay and like planet kind of orientation thing. It was just weird. Mario Sunshine, I love the water physics. I like the different mechanics and gameplay elements. It really grabbed my attention. Really enjoyed Mario Sunshine. And I enjoyed Mario 64 because of both nostalgia as well as that I love the simplistic graphics and simple design. So in the end, great collection. Just Nintendo just being stupid again. Not surprising. It's Nintendo. They're not known to be an intelligent company. Moving on, we got Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission. I got this for like $15. I picked it up. I think it's like a card game or something like that. Haven't played a lot of it, but overall, seems interesting. Just picked it up. It was cheap. Moving on, we got Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Don't really have much of an opinion of it. I played it. It's alright. It's an alright classic Mario game. As I said, Paper Mario has just really took the cake for me in terms of Mario games. Because they're always unique. They have some neat ideas and graphics and setup. These Mario games just are wearing thin for me. They're good. They're enjoyable experiences, but very forgettable. And again, I wouldn't necessarily say they're not fun, but I wouldn't say they are fun. Just again, Nintendo really needs to learn the word fun, because this is not really what I call fun. It's a gameplay experience where you get to just play a game. But in the end, I'm glad to have it, and I'm glad it's like a complete version of like both the Super Mario U and Super Mario or Super Luigi U all on one cartridge. Really, really cool. Now here's one. It's only available in a Japan import. It does have full English. This is like a Papercraft kind of RPG. It looks really, really neat. I just thought it looked really interesting. You have yet to play it. I just like the aesthetics and the setup, and it looks like craft materials, like somebody's working on his workbench. I've heard it's very generic and basic other than the artistic design, which is possibly just fine. It looks interesting, so I picked it up. Again, this is only the way you can get the game currently is a Japan import, which again supports full English. So, really, really happy to have it. Here's an interesting recent pickup is Yamor, Lost in the Dark Deluxe Edition. The only reason I picked this up is I got the other collection where it comes with 2 games on one cartridge. I just picked this up. This is like a Japan kind of survival horror kind of style game. Don't know nothing about it. Just looks really, really cute and really, really interesting. I only picked this one up because, like I said, I bought the other one. It comes with the collection of 2 games on one cartridge. So I figured I'd pick this up with it since I had the other one. Moving up, we have Ocean's Heart, which is a limited run physical copy. This is like a Legend of Zelda, classic Legend of Zelda, Super Nintendo style game. Right up my alley. I enjoy sprite graphics. I love classic Legend of Zelda. So, this was a must pick up for me. Looks really good. Have yet to play it. Been wanting to play it. Moving on. Here's what I was talking about. YMoral Long Night Collection. Now, when I ordered this, it said it was the American version. They sent me the PAL version. I don't know if there's any distinct difference between them. It's getting really expensive if you want a copy, whether the American or the PAL version. The American version is more expensive, but the PAL version is starting to go up in price as well. Have yet to play it. Again, it's a collection of 2 games on one cartridge, and that's why I bought this one. Because, like I said, I can have both of them on my shelf for the Switch. So, I've yet to play it. Looks like interesting survival horror games. So, I'll have to check it out at some point. Here's a game that really got to my attention. Dungeons of Ather. It's like a dice card kind of dungeon or roguelike style game. Looks really, really interesting. I just love the aesthetic and gameplay ideas. So, I picked it up. Have yet to play it. Been wanting to play it. Looks really, really good. It's from Limited Run. So, right up my alley of the physical copy. Moving up. We have Scourgebringer. This is another roguelike kind of 2D action 2D sprite roguelike. Got it, picked it up. This was only available in Eastern Asian shop, which I think is Japan. It's not, or Asia kind of physical copy. There's no rating board or anything like that, so I don't really know. But picked it up. It was only available on the Switch. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I've yet to play this. I got this used. I believe, yep, got it used. Let's see. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I spent $42 for this. Picked it up. So, have yet to play it. I don't know. Moving up, I talked about this before, where I have Turok 1 and 2 for the Switch. I first bought this for the Switch. And then when it came out on PlayStation 4, I bought it again. I love the classic Turok games. I would say Turok Seeds of Evil 2 is my most favorite of the 2. But glad I have it. Part of my collection. I'm glad to have multiple physical copies of it. I'm glad it's finally got new physical releases. Very, very good games. And right up my alley. They're good classic games. And I'm always happy when old games get new physical copies. We have the final stack here. They got Super Mario Party. Now, this was bought used, if I recall. And whoever bought it bought the PAL version, so I picked it up. Can't remember what I paid for this. But I played it with a little bit with my nieces. They really liked it. I didn't like having to use the motion controls so much in the game. But it's good. It's interesting. Got it. Here's one that's probably getting kind of rare, is Castle Crashers Remastered. Now, you actually had to go to the actual company site of Behemoth to order your physical copy. I don't think they're having it anymore, so now physical copies are getting kind of expensive and rare. I picked it up. Sadly, this is the only way you can get a physical copy of Castle Crashers right now is for the Switch, which is very criminal. A game I would really like to have on PlayStation 4. It's very good. This is the pinnacle of when indies started overthrowing AAA. This is back like on 360 era. I remember when Castle Crashers came onto the scene on the Xbox 360, and it just exploded for the indie scene. It gave a lot of tensions for other indie games and stuff like that that made people realize, hey, you know, these indie developers are actually love video game developing more than these AAA games. They love it more than Naughty Dog. They love it more than Bethesda, EA, Activision, Ubisoft. They actually want to make games. Unlike those other companies I just said, they don't want to make games. So, in the end, really, really happy I have this. Glad to have it. Just sucks that it's going to get really expensive if you want to get a copy. Hopefully they maybe get like a wide release or maybe a limited run. Can do like a PS4 version. Here's an interesting game. Vitamin Connection. It's a very, very interesting game. I wish the game had pictures in the background so you could see what the gameplay is like. It's a really, really good game. It's a little weird. It's a little odd. You kind of control it like this. It's like a ship, and you kind of like move it as you're moving around. It's really, really good. It's interesting. I like it. I actually like it a lot. I did beat it, and it's a good game. I actually probably wouldn't mind playing this game. There's a song in this game that's actually really, really good. I don't know. I think this may have been one of the early launch titles for the Switch, but I'm not entirely sure. Like, I wouldn't say it like a launch title, like on like a physical copy, but like on their eShop or something like that. But anyway, happy to have a copy. It was from Limited Run. Another Limited Run is Veteran Edition of Strife. This is like a boomer shooter style game, which again, I always tend to buy boomer shooters. Really, really interesting game. It's got some ups, it's got its downs. There's some little awkward moments in the game in terms of like stealth. But anyway, I'm really glad to have it. It's got decision making when you try to get the good or bad ending. And then I enjoyed it. It's from Night Dive Studios, which they do a really good job of porting old games. Here's the next one, is Grandia HD Collection. I picked it up because, again, classic games, really, really good. I know I just ordered the PS4 version from Limited Run, and this was the Switch version. Really liked it. I played the PS1 version. I played the PS2 version of Grandia 1 and 2. Really, really good games of classic JRPGs, and happy to have it on my shelf. Really good games. Moving on, we got Panzer Dragoon. Now, when I bought this, I think this was came out on Switch. Then I ordered the PS4 version, and because I forgot that I ordered the Switch version, and it took so long that when I ordered the PS4 version, then later I got the Switch version. I was like, oh yeah, I bought the Switch version of this. I don't know. I've only played the Switch version. I've yet to play the PS4 version. I don't know. I'm assuming the PS4 probably runs the game a little bit better, but again, it's okay. Like I said, you could beat the game within 3, possibly 4 hours. Maybe in less than that, like 2 to 3 hours. It would have been better if it came with Panzer Dragoon 1 and 2 on cartridge. Here's a recently new pickup. It's from Limited Run. Again, it recently came in, which was Moon. I don't really know nothing about it. I don't think this is like your typical game. This is more of like a cozy kind of style game where you just go around talking to people, doing interactions. I don't think there's like any battling or anything like that. I don't know. Caught my attention. I like the graphic aesthetic and stuff like that. Looks interesting. Moving on. We got Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I think this was a used copy because it's pretty worn down on the case. Yep, used copy. I don't know. I haven't played any of the Xeno Chronicle games. I yet to play with it. I haven't messed with it, so don't know nothing about it. But I haven't. Moving on, we have the next one. We have Xeno Chronicles Definitive Edition. Again, I've yet to play it. I don't know nothing about it, so I don't know. I wish I could say more, but I don't. I have it. Moving up, we got Kirby Star Allies. Not the greatest game. I actually like the on-rail shooting aspect of this game, but the rest of the game is not very good. Or it's just extremely mind-numbingly easy that it's just not interesting. But I'm happy to have it. This is a more updated version of the cartridge. I think, yeah, it's 03. So it does got to come with extra content on cartridge, so it's really, really nice. So have it. Another recently pickup was Kirby Return to Dreamlands Deluxe. I have yet to not play this, so I have no idea what it's like. But I have it, so don't know nothing about it. I don't know what it includes, or what it offers, or what it changes. Don't nothing, but glad I got it. Next one, a new recently pickup, was Steel Assault Limited Run physical copy. Again, it's like a side-scrolling 2D style game, which is right up my alley. It looks interesting, so I picked it up. Glad I have it. Next one is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I've yet to play it, but I got this copy really, really cheap. The guy sold it to me for like 20 bucks or 25 bucks because he didn't like the game. He told me it's not what he thought it was going to be. Now, when he said it to me, he thought it was like the deluxe version, that Super Mario Deluxe. He thought it was more like that. But I don't think that's what he meant. I think he was thinking this was like Mario Odyssey. I think that's what he was expecting, a full 3D Mario game, not a 2D Mario game. He didn't look like a gaming enthusiast, so he didn't like the game, so he just sold it to me. So, overall, I got the game really, really cheap, like almost like day one in terms of releases, but I have yet to play it. But I got it. Lucky me. And next one that's got my attention greatly is Dark Deity. It's like a tactical-based style game. I don't know much about it, but it's limited run. Right up my alley in terms of tactical base. But when I popped it in my Switch and tried to mess around with it, because it's a tactical game, I'm going to check it out, even if I'm on a hiatus in Switch games. The game loaded up really slow, and it was very sluggish. It took a long time to get to the main menu of the game, and then like clicking on a few things, the loading time took forever. So I don't know if that's maybe a bad physical copy that I have, or that's the Switch. So if the next generation console from the Switch is backwards compatible, hopefully that's something they could fix to make it load faster. I'm going to go with the Switch is having a problem, because this is an indie game, maybe not be the most optimized for the Switch. But that's the last of this 40 stack I have here. I got 160 games, so we got 3 more stacks to go. I hope you enjoyed this. I know that, I don't know if you would prefer it to be a longer video, if you would prefer I do 80 games. So, I don't know if I'm going to do that. That might be a little bit too long of a video. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this. We got a few more videos to go. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Bye-bye!